Disclaimer: the views, opinions, and insinuations made by the host or guests do not reflect those of the show, the management, and the network. Viewer discretion is advised.
The family of Napoleon Hill kept his most important work from the world for 72 years. What they found out to be so disturbing is actually the discovery of Napoleon Hill of how people systematically limit their own potential even without realizing it. I am Master Coach A. Welcome back to our 72-year cover-up expose. And for today, I'm going to share with you the exact mechanism Napoleon Hill identified that convinced people to bury their own gifts. For today, I'm going to share with you something that is uncomfortable, something that might shake you, something that might feel you. What have you been doing all your life? But this episode will make you understand how you even get to where you are at this moment in time. After last Sunday episode, our first episode, many of you start taking the Sacred Dissonance profiling quiz. And many of you are discovering this very thing that Napoleon Hill have discovered. You were able to discover and you were able to experience what he would say systemic spiritual displacement. You start recognizing that you have gifts that you have allowed to be buried, and for many years, or maybe you have forgotten totally, you are not properly expressing who you truly is. Many of you have already started connecting with the patterns from the historical spiritual journeys presented in the Sacred Dissonance profiling quiz. And you know that you are not alone, you are not broken, and you are starting to truly understand things that you have been calling as displacement, failure, loss, and that space of void and not understanding what truly is happening with you. But first, before you continue with the journey, you need to truly understand what systemic burial is. And what does it mean? It means that you are part of an entire system, the entire programming, and you are participative of the burial of your own gifts. How you convince yourself to become the architect of your very own death in terms of spiritual growth. You are experiencing spiritual limitations today because you actually allowed it to happen. Napoleon Hill discovered what he called hypnotic rhythm, the systemic process by which society convinces you to bury your own authentic gifts. And here's actually how it works. There are 4 stages that I'm going to share with you. And this is actually coming from the works of Napoleon Hill, of which he identified in Outwitting the Devil. There are 4 stages or 4 layers of influence. And in each of the stage, you will realize how through the years you were able to convince yourself, or how society was able to convince you that your gifts are no longer there. Think about first stage, which is age 5 to 12. This is the early programming. Going back, these are the times where our family members, our friends, or the closest people around us, our caregivers, will tell us, be realistic with your dreams, don't be different, follow your dreams, but be safe. Make sure that you get a good job. Be sure that you study well so you get a high paying job. Be sure that your choices will secure your future. Your authentic gifts are normally labeled as impractical or dangerous if it's not falling within the expectations of our family. Think about if you were born or you were raised in a space where everybody is professionally serving organizations. For example, your family is from engineering, architecture, medicine, lawyers, accountancy, and all of a sudden you say, I want to build my own business. I want to draw. I want to have a beauty center. Or maybe I want to trade goods that I love to eat. I love to collect. I'm sure you would understand at that moment in time when our family members would say, or our parents, our caregivers would say, where did you even get that? What would happen to you if you don't succeed? Who will buy from your goods? Who will patronize you? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure the rest is history. On the other side, if you were raised in a family of entrepreneurs, business owners, and everybody is not employed, and all of a sudden you said, you know what? I want to try working for a company. I want to try to serve in their finance group or in their sales group. Or maybe I want to sit in a boardroom and direct people making some plans. Maybe you can hear your family say, are you fool? That's stupid. Why would you do that? The entire family, all of us been making money, earning money from doing business. Why all of a sudden you want to be employed? Or maybe you are one person who just simply different. You don't want to work for other people's company. You don't even want to work as well for your company own business. And what you wanted to do is to be on your own, to be independent, to be honing your own gifts, trying the world, traveling, or maybe just moving to another country, moving to another city. And I'm sure you know for a fact, especially on this early age, formative age, our parents, our caregivers, the closest family members, our grandparents will tell us it's not safe, it's not right, or maybe some of us would have been ridiculed and cursed to some extent. And that is only stage 1. Here comes stage 2. Stage 2 is educational conditioning, roughly around age 13 to 22. And from the traditional schooling, this is about high school days, college days. And this time, we learn that the educational system rewards compliance and punishes our authentic expression of our wants and our desires. We learn to give the right answer and keep our authentic responses because it's not allowed. This is also the time where we start hearing other people questioning why we have certain preferences. This is also the time that it feels like if we are good in math, we're bad in English, we're supposed to be honing that weakness. Or this is also the time where if we want to try on other intelligence, apart from academics, people would say, it's a waste of time. Why would you do that? You can do that after college. You can try on those hobbies of yours once you got a very stable job. You have a high-paying job. And at this time, we have almost taken the path of living a life without our gifts. Well, We still have extracurricular activities. We have still our classmates, our friends, our circle who would celebrate these little things. But I'm sure you know that when we go back to school, when we talk to our teachers, when we talk to our educational heroes, they would still bring us to what the society dictates and what is default. Now, here comes stage 3. This is the time where we are at work. This is around 23 to 35 years old, and this is where the career conditioning gets to happen. And because we were told when we were young, get a job, be good at it, get a promotion, get your money, be secured, this is the time that we will path what many would say the practical paths. Okay? So we give our best, we give our all, nothing left. It feels like when we get a high-paying job, when we get our promotion, when we get our car, when we get other perks, that's it. And more burying of gifts. Well, this is also the time when we start getting some successes, when we get some highs, we try probably to give chance to our gifts, to our hobbies, or maybe the things that we love to do and inspires us. But most of the time, if we do this, we do it either in secret, not a lot of people would know, or we do it as a side hustle. Again, at this moment in time, conformity works at its finest. And some of us would probably try to divert. Some of us will try our luck. And this is so hard because people around us would say, you are out of your mind. What are you doing? Why are you shaking the boat? Why are you risking? And some of us have even gotten threats and say, you will not be supported. You will not get this. You will not achieve this, and all of those things. But that is just stage 3. Now, like cancer, there is stage 4, before the ultimate death. Stage 4 is social validation. Social validations around age 36 plus. What happens is society celebrates your burial so effectively you forget that your gifts actually existed. You become grateful for the burial of your gifts and you call it responsibility. You are happy being celebrated for their expectations coming to form, and you are okay putting aside the things that you want to do because you want to be responsible. By this age, by this time, you are actually not just get buried, you are depending. You are even standing tall for the burial of your own wisdom. Think about it. You are at this moment in time saying, you have achieved, you have gotten far in life, and your daily existence is satisfying, fulfilling, because many are celebrating you. So think about it. At this moment, how many times in a day you're able to do what makes you smile? How much of your daily existence, how much of your daily works, how much of your daily activities truly is out of your gifts? How often do you silence your intuition because it doesn't match your realistic thinking? And you would say, this is okay. This is how it's supposed to be. You've been so successful at this point in time, super successful in burying your own gifts, that you know for sure that this is normal, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because what you are experiencing right now is the absence of your gifts is normal. Nobody there to us, nobody care. Nobody even noticed that you are not working. You are not showing up at your best. Because this is exactly what you are expected to do. You call emptiness being responsible. You disguise this feeling of looking for something and putting it aside. Okay, and should be, and must be. Now, I want you to just for a moment, understand. Maybe when you hear gifts, works produced, being kept for 72 years, the most important works being put aside, maybe you'll say, that's crazy. But you know what? The family of Napoleon Hill was so disturbed because he proved that all of these things happen not by accident, or this is not accidental, but systemic in nature. And here's what Napoleon Hill discovered. Probably this one will give you hope. Your authentic gift will refuse to stay buried permanently. While you're probably in a space where you are going through the hypnotic rhythm, Napoleon Hill said that spiritual emptiness, that feeling of something out there, that feeling of this is not me, or there is this other self, that is actually your very own expression coming out in the open. What Napoleon Hill have discovered in his works is that self of you that have been buried, that self of you that died and you celebrated that gifts to be out there, buried 6 feet under the ground, what Napoleon Hill said, this other self will refuse to be buried forever. Napoleon Hill helped us recognize the other self. Unfortunately, his works ends there, and many are left hanging. When Outwitting the Devil was published in 2011, I am one of those people who was left hanging. And since then, my question was, what's next? My question then, what would I do? And again, countless of times, together with the rest of the people who have been awakened by that book, that what next is consistently echoing, consistently awakening us to something bigger, something greater. And so, after all many years, after all the challenges, and after probably a long journey, comes Sacred Dissonance. This work of mine continues to be developed, continues to be honed, continuously changing how I see things. But finally, I'm able to pen the journey of 12 historical figures that went through sacred dissonance, encounter their other self in the journey, and upon recognizing that void, cross over, do what they can do, so that unsettling feeling, that gifts that has been buried, that calling that they're not able to fulfill for the longest time, finally takes its center stage. So what I wanted you to do right now after this video is to celebrate that there is hope. There are ways for you not just to uncover the gifts back, not just to experience what Napoleon Hill have said, it will refuse to die, it will refuse to be buried, it will refuse to stay in the grave. So download your Sacred Gift Recognition Guide immediately after this video, because it will help you understand, it will help you explore, and maybe it will help you recover your buried gifts. Some of which from your family's expectations disguised as responsibility. Some of those you would identify as beneath the demands of your career, disguised as practicality. Or maybe those within religious conformity, disguised as faithfulness. And what about behind fear, disguised as realism? When you start excavating your buried gifts, when you start seeing those gifts that ceremonially you have buried and forgotten over the years, it will disrupt everything in your life. It will be uncomfortable. There will be probably the feeling of shaking. There will be change in relationship. There will be change in choices. And definitely, there is something in your identity that would show up, that would become evident, or maybe there would be an expression that you will no longer be able to suppress. The big questions would be, are you ready for that understanding? Are you ready to excavate your gifts? Are you ready for the excavation journey? Because that's going to be our Thursday's episode. In this episode, I will show you, I will reveal with you, journey with you, the 12 historical awakening patterns that show how your patterns in life have brought you to where you are today. There are many people in history, not only the people I've studied and put in sacred dissonance, that maybe you have to hear their stories. Maybe you want to hear their side of the story, their side of history, and you will finally come into terms that your case, your life, your journey is not an isolated case, but just as Napoleon Hill have discovered in his works, this is systemic. When you recognize the pattern, the very specific pattern, everything will shift and make sense to you. Your authentic self has been patient enough, long enough. Your authentic self has been waiting for you to finally give way to its expression. So on Thursday, we will map that journey from burial to authentic expression. Download your toolkit, get ready for Thursday, and be excited for the excavation journey ahead of us. This is Master Coach A. I'll see you again on Thursday.